It's Hunter, Warlock, Warrior versus Hunter, Warlock, and Mage. But there is several differences in their deck list. Let's find out what happens in game number 1. Get out there and tweet #DHS15 and send in your predictions. We're going to begin off with that Warlock mid-range from Nico with Chakki's mid-range Hunter.
What a hand for Warlock. Flame Imp on 1. He has the coin as well. Haunted Creeper and the Wolf.
Both players are really great hands. Mad Scientist is one of the things that you really want as soon as possible in the Hunter deck. So playing it on turn 2 is really great, especially that the Flame Imp and Direwolf Alpha are both killed by it instantly and then still loses the advantage of the board to the Freezing Trap.
Chakki getting an amazing mulligan. He tried to get a 1-drop and he got the Leper Gnome.
Too bad, it's kind of weak to the Haunted Creeper. And there's the Knife Juggler to actually make most of it. I mean, most of the Haunted Creeper, because you get 2 additional juggles for free. If you need those, of course.
If you play the Mad Scientist, then you often see a player go for a Haunted Creeper shot into the Mad Scientist, and then you try to get 2 juggles. So I guess you have more targets to hit as the juggles come out. That's usually the math on it.
And it's also really weak. Now the Mad Scientist, the Freezing Trap from Mad Scientist is kind of weak to the the 1/1 divided Haunted Creeper.
Is that what happens? Just splits into 2?
That's what
I thought it just leaves ghosts.
That makes no sense, right? Like 1 into 2 ghosts.
Normally, I think there's small spiders that follow it up.
All right. Well, the juggle. Oh, 1 hits face. That's not good.
That's
2 hits face.
Wow.
Now that's really unfortunate for Nico.
Yeah, because now Chakki can deal with this and even keep a minion on board.
And even more, his Freezing Trap will get most value now because he can clear the board completely with the Glaive-Zuka.
An interesting fact is that Chakki is not playing Explosive Trap, where Nico has one in his Hunter. So for Chakki, it's double freezing.
It does take a lot of self-control not to just use Unleash the Hounds, because you realize that Implosion is another way that Zoo can catch up on board, and Unleash is one of your primary tools against it. So it is a very effective tool therein. And Chakki, of course, optimizing damage. Realizing Mad Scientist doesn't have to trade into the 1/1. Instead, you can hit for face, force that 1/1 to go into the trade, and then use the Freezing Trap effectively there. This is awkward now. Nico, I mean, those juggles changed this outcome of the game. It could have been an opportunity for him to build the board. Now, Flame Imp is a lot weaker, and Void Caller becomes much more of a liability.
Ryan is very vocal about Knife Juggler, right?
Yeah, and it's funny because someone like Firebat, Knife Juggler is his favorite card in the game.
It is a swingy card.
It is.
So players love or hate it.
Yeah, that's a love-hate relationship for sure.
So what do you guys think about, instead of Abuse the Surgeon, go Voidwalker, Direwolf Alpha?
Would you need that? I don't think so. You just want to squeeze as many minions as possible before turn 5.
I mean,
yeah.
All right, I agree. This serves the same purpose. It's more minions, and you can Freezing Trap the Abuse the Surgeon. But with Direwolf Alpha, if he attacks with the weapon into the Voidwalker, he takes more damage.
The 1 damage right now doesn't really matter. And I think you want to take the advantage of having more minions on board when you when the Direwolf Alpha can have a bigger impact, you know?
Fair point, yeah. And Flame Imp is going to stay.
But Chakki has the best answer in his hand already, because Unleash the Hounds with Knife Juggler is just ridiculous.
But not enough mana
That's next turn.
Yeah, well, of course, but that doesn't really matter, because he can fall behind board and still make an easy comeback with that.
Yeah.
It's like, it's even more powerful in some situations than this old Buzzard Unleash.
That's why Hunter has such an advantage versus this kind of Zoo. Unleash the Hounds. If you're able to use it really well, then you get ahead. And look at that, already at 16 health is Nico.
Flame Imp is definitely a liability at this point. And Void Caller, as much as it's usually a great draw, it just doesn't have that much impact. It's kind of just a bad 4-drop.
Maybe he'll draw into Mal'Ganis and change the game.
You would need that for sure.
Oh man, Freezing Trap on Flame Imp versus Hunter. That Flame Imp will never see play again.
Oh, never say never.
Well,
in fact, there's a Void Caller. It might pull it out. Oh, the Huffer. Oh, wow. That is all to the face for Chakki. He's going to put him down to 10, maybe even 8. The point is he still could use that weapon for board controls, and especially with a Juggler on Unleash the Hounds, so he can keep that. And talk about tough beats here. Nico needs to get into Mal'Ganis. That would be the perfect tap right now. But can he get away with it? Because these Flame Imps by themselves are unplayable. You can't do 6 damage to your own phase.
That's why I really dislike playing 2 Flame Imps in the Demon Lock, you know? Because in a Hunter metagame, those are real liability.
Every metagame feels like Hunter doesn't go away, though. So are you just never going to put Flame Imps in your deck ever again?
Well, maybe it will change to like a slower Hunter, who knows? Like a really slow one. Or maybe that will change the hero power of the Hunter at some point.
Yeah.
Well, in Conquest, at least you play this matchup only once. Because you either win or you lose.
Feels bad, man.
You either win or you lose. It is true.
Well, then one of the decks is locked, so you'll never face that.
Do you just put him down to 2 HP this turn? Because what heal is in the deck? I guess Mal'Ganis is something that you are worried about, but he can't do it anymore unless he has Void Caller, Power Overwhelming on the Void Caller, and Mal'Ganis pops out.
And he knows there's 1 Flame Imp already in the
hand.
hand.
That's true.
So
I think you just put him down to 2.
Yeah.
I think you're okay with just letting your opponent deal with it. And there's no way your opponent can generate 25 damage. This looks like a 99.9 repeating % chance.
Yeah, the Flame Imp is already being hovered over. That's
the only way to go down.
That's
how this started.
Flame Imp.
With the Flame Imp? Oh,
turn
come on.
1 Flame Imp, turn 6 Flame Imp.
Nico, I said it's never going to see play. Don't play it.
Well, that's the second one. You're not wrong.
You're right. I would tap here.
You know what? It is important to, I guess, not necessarily in this case, but sometimes you can make an argument that in Conquest you shouldn't show any more cards than you have to. That's why conceding if you're about to lose is probably the better option. So that way you don't remind him. Like, these guys have a lot of information right at the fingertips, but it could be like, well, don't remind him that I have this. Yeah, like, you know, maybe not in this contest because they know each other's deck list, but in the future.
Yeah, especially because, as Lothar mentioned, normally you play 1 Flame Imp, and that was the second Flame.
That was the second Flame.
Well, he could have played the one that was frozen, right?
Yeah, but he ended up playing the 1 mana.
Yeah.
So.
Misplay.
Right. So Chakki's taking game with his counter.
Very slight misplay, I guess. Here we go. One more time. Mid-range Zoo for Nico, and Chakki immediately switches gears.
Contra Warrior.
Yeah, the Warrior has served Chakki pretty well. Keep in mind that both these guys went 6-1, so they've had to win a significant amount of games with all of their decks. And the Control Warrior has proved to be really effective just because the Control Warrior deals well with the patrons and also against aggro. People forget how effective Control Warrior is at destroying aggro when it draws Fiery War Axe.
And that's a very interesting build with Baron Geddon, Ysera,
and a Silence.
And a Silence, yeah.
But what I like to do when I play Demon Lock against Warrior is to mulligan away every single 1-drop and 2-drop. They don't have really that much of an impact, and Void Color is the biggest threat in the deck. So I just want to mulligan for Void Color and like a Doomguard or Mal'Ganis. Maybe Void Terror, because, you know, the sooner the better.
Yeah, certainly.
Unless there is a Silence.
Well, yeah.
But this is
kind of awkward.
Yeah. How often do you play versus Contra Warrior, like on ladder now?
Kind of often, you know. Because I was playing like above 100 games with Demon Lock on stream, and Warrior Control was really popular. I don't know why. But
well, I feel like you use it to shut down the Hunters and Patrons, if that's what your goal is. You can tech against both of them. You can already see like the reasons why it'd be good. He has Harrison Jones, like both great against both those matchups. And the Warrior can have a lot of ways to survive despite taking a lot of damage.
Oh wow,
well,
another
second
Void
Color. Yeah, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's always a little funny because usually if that Void Caller didn't get silenced, you can summon a Void Caller with the Void Caller. But
and it hits this time.
Well, this time it hits. Like last time it was terrible.
But in this situation, doesn't really change that much. Last game, it was crucial to hit at least one.
So Lothar, you played this matchup many times. You think that Demon Warlock has an edge versus Warrior?
Yeah, there's a specific order of cards you need to draw if you want to win. Like a 10-5 Mal'Ganis with Void Terror is something that you really want to see. That's one of the best things that can happen. In this situation, it's not bad. Like, you most likely want to play overextend the board before there are bigger chances to draw. That the Warrior will have to draw. Let's rewind that. You want to decrease the chances of drawing the brawl, so you want to overextend the board as soon as possible, and get something out of the Void Core also as soon as possible.
All right, so you're basically risking that there is no brawl and trying to go.
It's like an all-in deck with Void Cores, because Sometimes the vodkas can act like an insurance against AoEs, but in this particular matchup, there are so many answers to your deck. It's like a Big Game Hunter, brawls, executes. You have to make risks, and those risks are really paying off if it hits.
Yeah, I mean, Chakki even said that he was aiming his decks to defeat the handlock players. And there's no more handlocks in the top 8. In fact, it's the very aggressive version of the Warlock where he can't really handle it. Or even if he was playing the aggressive Warlock, he'd be happier than just playing like a mid-range that can capitalize on pushing the board here.
It's actually hilarious because we have so many Big Game Hunters in top 8.
Right.
Like
Two Big Game Hunter decks. I mean, he'd much rather prefer to play a deck that's faster and then have Sludge Belcher have higher impact against smaller minions with chargers. But in this scenario, there's just so much power coming out.
That Iron Beak Owl Doomguard turn, next turn, into the Sludge Belcher.
And now we see that Nico is playing around Brawl because he taunts up the 2 minions that are has the less importance on board. Wow, Baron get on Tin 7, killing 3 minions.
That's crazy.
That's like, I think that was
like the best draw.
The best draw. That was the best draw.
I mean, Dr. Boom is great and all, but Baron Geddon handled it perfectly. Oh, yeah, it's a lot of damage, though. That's 14.
That's how you finish the game.
Yeah. It's 14 damage exactly. I think Nico just wants to count it up one more time.
So
5, 7, 9,
what Nico might be
14,
thinking, and what is a trap here?
No. Oh,
He missed default. But what the trap is that people think, hey, I have Doomguard, Power Overwhelming, Burst. But if I play Doomguard, I will discard Power Overwhelming. So those people sometimes don't realize that
you can
power
play it first.
Yeah.
You can play Power Overwhelming first and then Doomguard. Or you can tap into realize that you missed. But this is what you think. You don't blink. You don't show the camera. Yeah, don't emote. Oops. just kind of acknowledge that.
No, he
Oh!
Well, it was kind of too.
Now that was the misplay to show that he knew that he missed it.
But now he has to. Well, I mean, that's really weird. Now you have to use the PO in this situation just to burst him before Alexstrasza. So if he manages to clear the whole board, you can't use the PO again.
I think he is. Yeah, he can. But I think he's still in a good shape here. And he has the Void Scholar, so possible Doomguard from him.
How much life does he have, though? If he executes and he plays the Sludge Belcher, oh, he's not going to be happy to see Doomguard.
Like, hello, I'm Doomguard.
Well, Chakki has no emotions anyway, so...
Well, I mean, it's almost inevitable because he was playing Doomguard next turn anyways. He's down to 2 cards.
Yep.
So I think he's accepted that. There's 5, 8, 12 damage on board, and he's at 11. So
he actually escapes.
He actually needs another Iron Beak Owl.
Or 2 points of damage, maybe another Abusive, another PO.
Defender. Flame Whip is not it.
Well, then you tap.
Well, you have to tap. There's no other way.
So you tap into...
Implosion can...
that is it.
That's it.
That's it.
That should be enough.
Well, should be it.
That's 2 points of damage. And now...
Wait,
that was a misplay.
that was a misplay. Now he lost 1 damage.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
And
Guys,
now
this is turning into a disaster.
Yeah, he had it again, right?
Yeah, he had it. He had it. Right? Wait. Did he had it? If you Flame Imp into the Belcher, and then you lose 2, so you have still 7, 11. That was lethal.
Yeah, that was lethal.
He had exact lethal, I think.
All right, so double miss lethal on 2 turns.
This is bad. This is starting to. This is a snowball of
and
chain
now
events.
the Brawl is being
there's a-
drawn.
Wow. So
Nico is devastated.
I don't know if he needs to brawl. He could just Alex Strauss himself, right?
you can just realize he missed the lethal again.
This is bad. You know what? There's 2 things that Nico should do. One is, focus on winning this game, too. Second thing is do not check Reddit afterwards.
Yeah. You like go on a vacation for a week and then you go back and still not check Reddit for
the
a week.
good news is that the broadcast is just kind of getting underway, so it's not at the peak. Amaz is yet to play and bring his entire fan base.
Well, Amaz missed lethal yesterday too. So.
But to be honest,
Oh, he wasn't the only one who missed lethal, though.
I know.
Let's be real.
yeah, a lot of people missed lethal.
Brawl comes out, but if the Doomguard survives, okay, so 1-1 survives instead. If the Brawl survived, he would have still, if the Doomguard survived, he would have still died.
So the 8 points of damage.
All right, now second Doomguard comes because there's really no justice
He's +3
in this world.
If he taps, he's dead to Garhowl.
Well, he
Dead to
saw
Gorehowl.
two. He saw two executes now.
When Chakki sees that Power Overwhelming is the card in hand, he'll just fall out of his chair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he still
Second
can
PO is
survive.
still not lethal, so if he he has to wait. He has to
He has
draw
to kill his Alexstrasza now.
abusive into second PO. Wait.
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
That's no.
6,
He's
10,
one
15.
off.
No, he's
One
one
off,
damage
one off,
off. He's one- okay, but he's got to play the Doomguard now.
Yes.
And then he has to tap into lethal, which, I mean, this
Wait,
kind of
that was a
happens.
misplay with PO. Now he can't. The PO should have landed on the Void
On the
Terror
Void
to
Terror.
kill the Alexstrasza.
Yes.
Oh.
Now he has to
You're
go
right.
with 2 minutes.
All right, this has been just a complete disaster from. Wait, he should.
Oh,
I think he should
man.
have.
Oh my God! And he
He
didn't
should have
attack.
spawned a 1-1. He should have
And
spawned a
they-
1-1 to Alexstrasza.
What is happening?
Oh,
Okay, guys.
no.
I think we lost control
From
over
hero
this game.
to 0. I think all the players are
Lowilo is
collectively
just-
face palming.
Yeah.
You know Naked Gun, the film, the movie.
No, I know Top Gun,
That was a
which is the opposite of this game. Because
So Nico is doing everything to lose this game. Can he?
you know when you always think like my opponent has to do this for me to win the game, which involves them playing the worst possible lines. In this case, Nico is struggling a lot, and I know a lot of people are always like, well, you know, do nerves really play a factor? It certainly does.
They do.
Certainly do. Nico showed that he's way better than this in
Yeah.
the previous series he's played.
I think this is a classic example of your mind going blank in a stressful
Yeah.
environment. Nico just doesn't.
I think actually the opposite. I think he's tunnel visioning too hard on certain things. And, I mean, I guess it's just semantics in a way. Either way, his mind's not on the proper points of the game.
Yeah.
Of killing your
Yeah.
opponent.
And you know what? Chakki's not even doing the most amazing things in the world to pull himself out of the situation either. It took two people. It took 2 people for Chakki to win this game for Chakki. Let's just make that clear. And there's no outs. He's both Doom Guards. He's seen the second power overwhelming.
How crashing is this?
And
Even with Malganis.
Yeah, that's it. He is Big Game Hunter.
this
man.
game is hilarious.
Yeah, but this is an example where a player actually crashes
Yeah.
under the pressure.
It's hilarious for 7.9 billion people in the world, but for the one person that's sitting in the seat, it is definitely not funny.
Now he has to just
well, I mean,
swipe
it's
his mind completely
Yeah.
and start fresh from
Yeah.
a 2-0, so he has to reverse sweep.
if I'm
and
Chakki too, I think I just Big Game Hunter Malganis and then just like Boombot and try to finish him off here.
Can Chakki BM?
Or if I'm, do you think Chakki extends this game just to mess with his opponent? Like, just let him survive this turn. Okay, all right.
denied anyway.
Wow.
Well, that's it. The Control Warrior escapes twice. I mean, you know,
3
you ever
times
see
even.
those movies in The Matrix where you're like, do the enemies actually have the worst aim in the world and they keep missing these 2 people even
You
though
mean
they have
Star Wars?
That's actually
thousands
Star
of
Wars.
bullets?
That's Star Wars.
I mean,
That's
you-
something.
It also happened in every action film in the history of mankind.
Yeah, the hero
Where it's
never
like,
dies.
Are all the villains just that bad at aiming and letting the hero survive? That's kind of what just happened here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so Chakki is the hero and Nico is the villain?
Well, no, it's I would have to say that Nico's the flawed protagonist at this point. If he comes back and wins this series,
3-2.
people are not going to forgive him easily. That's for sure.
He tries the Demon Warlock again versus
By the way,
Malygos Lock this
that
time.
was a really unfortunate loss because that was not a fortunate. That was not really a favorite match for the Demon Warlock. So winning against Control Warlock with that deck was really important.
Yeah. Now he has to 3-0 this Warlock deck coming out from Chakki, and it does have the Malygos version of it. I'm not sure how it does exactly against this Demon Zoo. I think it does struggle a little bit because it only has limited AoE.
Yeah, the problem is that you only have Hellfire Shadow
Oh
Flame.
no, he has 2 Hellfires. Oh no,
Oh,
he doesn't have Shadow Flame though. Okay.
So double Hellfire, no Shadow Flame. Still, if Zoo extends the board and you don't draw your AoE, you're in trouble. You mostly have minions like Handlock. You have Twilight Drakes, Raptors, but Chakki didn't get those minions here. He got Zombie Chow, tried to fight back, and now he picks up Hellfire, which will be very important. But other than that, double BGH is not going to do much. Tori-san is alright, but then he doesn't have any combo pieces yet.
I mean, the combo is often not how you win this game, I feel. With any combo deck, it's against like a deck that pressures you. You just have to stabilize the board and hopefully run them out of threats. But this deck is so good at never running out of threats because the way it's able to keep tapping.
That's
true. It's funny, sometimes you can win by not really combo, but you can hard cast Malygos and then finish the
and then
game.
Defender of Argus, and
Yeah.
hopefully that rides you all the way to the end.
Let's just hope that Nico will not miss again with a lethal, because he would have to change his
Yeah.
nickname, you know? Maybe to Nico the Stormtrooper.
That was a good one.
Nico the Stormtrooper. Great Photoshop material.
Well, you can play one of Big Game Hunters because you only need one for the Melganis. Well, okay, never mind. There's a Void Terror in this deck, so maybe it's useful, but I still think playing a minion against a Demon Lock might be more useful.
And I do like the idea of holding Hellfire until you can definitely get a strong clear. And you also sell your opponent that you don't have good AoE.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
By the way, here I think Defender of Argus will be better, and just try to hit with the knife the Zombie Chow straight here before.
No,
yeah, this is
why
awkward.
Why would you sacrifice the Knife Juggler here?
Yeah, and if he was, then he ended up placing the Imp Gang boss in a really awkward spot.
Yeah, well, you always play the Imp boss on the left because of the Direwolf.
Right.
But in this situation, when you play the second one on the left too, you can't sacrifice the Knife Juggler, and also you would gain additional point of damage. I mean, additional one knife from the Knife Juggler just by running it into the Big Game Hunter.
Maybe he misclicked.
You think so? That's all to happen to Stormtroopers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that was the intentional
misclicks
action.
sometimes do happen, but it's usually like a really obvious one where
when you 10-80,
yeah, like for
with
example,
no scope.
Yeah, sometimes if you innervate too fast, and then the cards shift to the right, and then sometimes you pick up the wrong card. It's happened to me a couple times.
Yeah, me too. And sometimes, you know, when
but that's
I
like the only case where you misclick.
There was one situation when I did a tag with a card to my opponent's face, and I instantly also aimed with a spell and I hit my own minion that was attacking.
Oh yeah, you know, when you play on the phone, I like accidentally eviscerated my own face a couple times too, right? Because you're trying to drag and you let it go.
Yep.
Some people actually frostbolt their face when they're at 3 life.
Only one person, dude, not some. All right, well, I mean, he still has a pretty strong board, and he was only a couple points off lethal.
So now Hellfire is not that effective.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. But there are no mortal coils too. There's an option of playing the Emperor, but then you get what I'm talking about, man. No. Never mind.
Okay, well, the priority here is to not die. So what helps us here not die? Clearing the board, but can he even clear the board reliably? Not really. And he doesn't have his Defender of Argus either.
Maybe just Abuse the Sergeant and Healbot.
Yeah, if you abuse the Sergeant Healbot, you reduce the power by 3 on board, and you end up going up to 17. The problem is the Healbot gets easily bullied by the Imp Gang boss spawn more minions. But I guess even if you do that, then you have Hellfire next turn.
Yeah.
So
it's not really that you can do anything else here. You have to protect yourself and.
Okay, how much damage is that?
That has to be enough, right? 6, 8,
8, 7.
Okay. He's not missing it this time. He's definitely not missing it this time.
All right.
Good job, Nico.
Yeah, as much as we can, condescendingly joke that he shouldn't have missed it, but at the same time, like, how awful is it to be in his spot here? Because
it's really awful.
It's like he gave away a game that he shouldn't have, and the series should be 1-1 with potentially 2-1 on his favor. Instead, it's the opposite direction. And now Chakki has a lot of time to just draw into the right combination of cards. It gives him more time.
On the other hand, I think he's still in a good spot. He doesn't have a handlock, which is a great matchup for Chakki. He has his Tempo Mage and Midrange Hunter. And I'm not exactly sure who is favored. I think those are mostly like 50-50. And it will depend on how fast he can play. I think Mage has an edge versus this kind of deck, especially against double Hellfire only. If you are able to get the tempo early, deal that damage, you might just kill the Malagas Warlock before it can stabilize. And
I mean,
Hunter,
we'll take it one step at a time. Hunter seems like it would be able to pressure this deck really well because there is some healing in it, but generally speaking, Warlock wants to tap as much as he can.
But look at that, Zombie Chow.
That is perfect draw.
Zombie Chow, Abusive Sergeant, and a Mortal Core. Now he just needs to draw a dragon.
Twilight Drake, Malagos, yeah.
Well, see, that alone complicates turn 1 from the Hunter, and that gives the opportunity for Chakki to tap.
Well, I guess you just pass the turn, play the weapon next turn, so your minions are not losing damage. Because, you know, the other option is to cone out Knife Juggler, but that's just plain bad.
Yeah, I think the Eagle Hornbow on 2 is the best. Just if you just play Juggler into it, you're losing too much. And you still lose the coin, so that doesn't make much sense. Alright, there is a Twilight Drake. It's so funny because you want to play Twilight Drake on 4 most of the time, and then you will not have the dragon. But I think like with this many cards, you just tap, attack, and
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
now
and
it's
he
perfect.
picks up a pretty good curve for the upcoming turns, assuming he can get everything. But this Eagle Horn Bow, like again, it's about how slow Hunter starts and gives the opportunity for Warlock to set up. The Zombie Chow has definitely pulled its weight, for sure.
Yeah. It basically stopped 2 turns of minion plays.
Oh my goodness. Chakki is drawing perfectly, and this could be the game that gives him the opportunity to, because I mean he has 3 games to try.
Misha is not bad though, but the Abios Surgeon will just punish this animal companion so bad.
Oh wow,
I mean,
another
he
Corruptor.
doesn't need to, though. He can still play Drake, and if the
not?
Misha goes into the Imp Gang boss, then you just shoot it down with the Blackwing Corruptor.
I think the Abios Surgeon is the perfect thing here, because then your opponent is left with 1 HP minions, and that's not there's no easy way for the Hunter to deal with 1 HP minions unless you have an Unleash the Hounds. Not
That's fair.
explosive trap.
I
But
like Twilight here as a 4/6.
I mean, he's encouraging this Misha to trade and not hit the face, which is the important thing.
Yeah, it's also because like you want to develop bigger minions, and you are going to follow up with those Corruptors. So like right now, turn 5, turn 6.
How does that happen? It's like, it's just perfect into the 1/1. I don't know. Well, the
They have a
Blackwing
good
Corruptor
lane.
here is still going to be pretty effective.
Yeah, this is so beautiful for Chakki. Just kill the Misha, kill one of the jugglers. Next turn you have a Corruptor, you have Moral, Abusive, whatever you want.
Now, this is so much control early on. Dr. Boom is a little bit too early to the party.
If he plays Lothab now, well, at least there won't be a Moral Coil, but still, Chakki will be able to play Abusive trades.
Would he want to play? He would probably want to try and see if he can clear the board if he goes for Lothab. He would have to want to swing at the Twilight Drake first and then play Lothab to try to get the juggle. But that's still a 50-50 on clearing the board, and if not, you lose Lothab for free. So that's not a good spot to be in at all.
Definitely.
It's a 50-50 to seize back the board. And again, you have to kind of pinpoint it to the early start that Chakki's had to set up the board relatively uncontested.
And the turn 6 sucks, Hunter, for Nico. There's like nothing going on turn 6.
Yeah, well, I guess he has Lothab on turn 6.
Guys, what are we even discussing? This is not something that Hunter wants to do. Trading your minions
Well,
into
if he can
minions?
bluff an explosive freezing trap here, but he doesn't go for it.
Yeah, but there's so many things that you don't want to get freezing back, like a heal bot, a taunt giver.
Corruptor.
Abusive Sergeant is also useful.
So I guess that was the turn when he wanted to bluff like freezing trap.
Well, I guess if you want to set it up, actually, I don't mind setting up Explosive in preparation for things like Lothab and Dr. Boom, or even if you draw the Savannah High main. But Explosive Trap in itself doesn't do much.
Here I think it's tap Implosion actually.
Implosion definitely, because he just played Unleash the Hounds and there are no jugglers left, so you're not fearing any kind of shenanigans
Yeah,
on the
that's a
Hunter
great
side.
point. But what if it rolls a 2, and then you have 2 1/1s as opposed to a 5/4 on the board?
That's still fine. Like you want to tap because you want to get to combo parts.
I like the Blackwing Corruptor too, because now it frees it up so that way you can play Astral Drake next turn comfortably and then not worry about having no Dragon synergy for the Blackwing Corruptor. That's something that people don't realize is like the Blackwing Corruptor as a 5/4 for 5 is like, well, I'd rather have a lot of other cards in my deck. So, and look at it, it ends up trading okay because if his opponent played High Main, which is the normal thing on
Yeah.
turn 6, the 5/4 crashes into it, and then you can deal with it with Drake Mortal Coil. So I think this ordering was really good for Chakki because he's considering all of his plays.
Good point. Now the Belcher just come down probably.
Yeah, Belcher.
Well, I guess
You're
this
so
is
far
the
ahead
one-
that the Drake could actually come down too. You have so many spell power.
But if you play the Drake, then you'd have to trade
Trade.
for the low tip, and if you don't do it, then you can just play Belcher and go face for 7. Which is a huge deal when it comes to racing, and you can start racing at this point.
I think actually you might want to trade because if you play Belcher, you're just losing Belcher for free.
That would, okay, a Belcher is a good point, but I would say racing is more important than anything else.
Okay.
2 lines of play, both were I think alright.
I mean, he's going to have to deal with his opponent's Dr. Boom unless Nico chooses to go really defensive and play something else, but I don't think setting up the weapon is particularly very strong here, so Dr. Boom seems to be the best way to present a problem to your opponent. And on the flip side, it's the same exact thing too.
7, 10, 11 damage. Well, you can play Drake, Mortal Coil, low tip, and
It's funny because you can play Drake, Dark Bomb, Mortal Coil into Dr. Boom,
that's also true.
and then you kill Lotheb with a 2-1, and you can go face with the 5-4 and 1-2.
No, you have to sacrifice the 1-2 for Dr. Boom.
Could you play Dr. Boom and Mortal Coil your opponents,
yeah, you're right.
and then clear everything except the boom bots? That's also a possibility.
There are 3 good plays here, and probably the Dr. Boom is the best one.
I think Dr. Boom is really powerful, considering that there's no traps on the field too. But Implosion in this is also equally good. He rolls 2. He goes super aggressive. That's the Chakki we know and love to the face.
Yep.
And Hunter is in such an awkward spot here.
Victory or death.
It's looking like death. It's looking like Chakki is about to go to the round of 4 on the back of really solid decisions, but also a little bit of help from Niko here, as he did give away a free game to his opponent.
Yep.
He's definitely going to need for these boom bots to do some work.
He has Explosive Trap, so he's stopping this more or less.
Well, he has Huntmaster too.
Okay. That works. This should hit the 1-2 as well.
Oh, look at that.
Now Explosive Trap clears, but setting up a
Yeah.
ton makes a lot of sense as well.
It's still... Never mind. Can this be turned around?
It definitely can. Hunter.
Oh, no, never mind.
Oh, that's right. Chakki put 2 big game Hunter in his deck for a reason. Is there a really sneaky way here to set up lethal either?
Well,
I mean,
as a Drake... Oh, wait.
Mortal Coil
No.
becomes 2 damage.
Yeah, you can basically Azure Drake, Mortal Coil, the Web Spinner after the attack, and then you want to play BGH.
No, wait, this is way better. Now you just roll 3 or more.
You can even hit the web spinner itself. So that way you can guarantee implosion kills and then go for the big game Hunter afterwards. Okay. Mortal Coil.
Yeah, that's true. That's the worst. That's the best. King of Beasts.
So he's going to go for a Dark Bomb clear with the big game Hunter now then.
Would it change anything if he would get a King Crush from that?
With
at
5
least he'd
damage?
lose gloriously.
Well, he's still not dead next turn.
It's true. Hunter is, 8 is still out of lethal range. King
Yeah.
of Beasts.
He didn't unleash first!
That would make it a 3-6. Basically, no effect whatsoever. Bluffing a freezing trap here.
I love that the web spinner
7
spawns
points
new
of
cards,
damage.
you know?
Huh?
I love that the web spinner spawns new cards.
Yeah, like even the GVG cards, which is interesting for sure. All right, Chakki sees that it's explosive, not snake trap or freezing. I guess it could also be snipe or misdirection, but he knows the deck list of Niko, so it's impossible.
If
to
it's
miss
explosive, isn't it awkward now because you want to play minions and you want to kill this lion? So maybe you just go into
Dr. Boom.
Dr. Boom and pass.
Yeah, you have Dr. Boom, and you can Iron Beak out next turn,
Yeah.
and then just have everything hit face, and if he
You still have Hellfire.
yeah,
so it's fine.
Hellfire to help clear, and the boom bots do damage. And you can't stop Dr. Boom from attacking. His fear is if his opponent plays like a freezing trap, and then Dr. Boom can't do anything.
So it seems it's over because Niko will not be able to kill this Dr. Boom unless he actually deals 5 damage to it.
Yes.
So, alright.
You would have to suicide everything into it,
And then attack with the Eagle Hornbow.
and then attack with the Eagle Hornbow to the face.
I guess he plays for a taunt minion
Okay.
with the bomb. I don't know.
By attacking into the bombs, this hopes that the King of Beasts can last. No, the King of Beasts died!
Oh, so this is
That
definitely
has
over.
to kill the Shredder for a taunt.
Now he's dead on board.
And that's it. Niko
That's
tried to
it.
go for a greedy play here to try and guarantee himself an opportunity to live and maybe even win, but that does it. Chakki is going to go to the round of 4, but you know what? There were 2 stories to this series. There was one that Chakki was able to take the win, but the second, of course, is what would